Here's Healthwise with Karin McCay.
When we think of New Year's Day, we think of new beginnings. For Kristen Strefling, it could have been the day before she died. She wanted to share this story to help other people understand that risk factors are on paper. Real life is not.
New Year's Day, I made all of my resolutions like I do every year, and the next day I had a stroke.
Kristen Strefling, a pharmacist, recognized the signs. So did her husband, Dr. Jason Strefling, an interventional cardiologist at Covenant. Both agreed it just didn't make sense.
Because she's so low risk. She doesn't really have any risk factors. She's young, healthy.
We ended up going to the ER, and that's when we found out that I had a full stroke, and my carotid was actually the issue, that it had unraveled up into my skull and dissected and 99% block.
Kristen had just passed her 40-year-old checkup with flying colors. Her blood pressure and cholesterol were normal, and she had no family history of a stroke. An avid tennis player with 3 children to chase, she was the picture of good health and the perfect example that things can still go wrong.
All of a sudden I noticed having trouble with my speech and slurring, and so I looked in the mirror and had the full facial droop.
Even a small symptom can be something more significant. Even if the odds and the risk is low, you never know.
The team at Covenant determined that Kristen had a dissection or tear of the inner layer of the artery. You can see it here. But Jason says because it was so close to the brain, it was not a quick fix.
That the concern was, does that go into her skull in an area where you can't really stent? Do we go in there? Could you make things worse?
Instead, Kristen tried to heal through medication for 5 months.
And I was on bed rest pretty much, and I was living in fear, afraid to turn my neck or sneeze or any movement. I said goodbye to my kids, and I was grateful for that time, because some people don't get that chance.
The medicine did not heal her, so after 5 months, the only option was a stent and prayers. Together, both worked.
I just felt like God was with me the whole time. Just very grateful.
Do not have to go. Do not play.
And as the family returns to game night with fun instead of fear in mind, Jason, Dr. Strefling, says the underlying message from all of this is clear, whether you have risk factors or not.
We were so lucky. Having these sort of mini strokes or these TIAs, I think, is very important for us to put credence to those symptoms, for you to get a full workup. Get the imaging of the carotids, get an ultrasound of your heart to make sure it's not some cardiovascular issue that's there as well.
Kristen and Jason now believe her ruptured artery could have been the delayed result of a hidden injury from a car accident she was in 10 years ago.
I feel like God has been saving me ever since then. Every day is a blessing. God saved me, and I have more time to raise my family and take care of my babies.
Finally, 9 months after her stroke, Kristen says she feels great and is excited to return to work as a pharmacist at UMC in September.
What a story.
Well, she's lucky to be alive,
yes.
and such a sweet person.
She's very grateful, and that's
very
wonderful.
Grateful.